Some shocking news out of New York City. According to an exclusive New York Post report, the Big Apple has seen a staggering 80% increase in the number of kids, I said kids, arrested for robbery, and a 23% hike in minors arrested for felony assaults since January. Get this, so far 816 teens across the city have been arrested for robbery compared to 451 the same time last year. Meanwhile, the number of kids arrested for felony assaults during the same time period increased from 225 last year to 276 this year. Here to weigh in is, and I mean, I got to tell you, this is, for me, it's very disturbing. This is an absolutely disturbing trend. But let's welcome in the spokesman for the National Police Association, Betsy Brantner Smith, and former NYPD Lieutenant John Macari. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Good morning.
So, Betsy, I'm gonna start with you, but I got to tell you, I've been seeing it. Okay, I've been feeling it, and it's not just New York City. I travel quite extensively, and there is definitely a difference in today's youth. Why do you think more kids are getting so involved in crime?
Well, it's a combination of things. Remember, we isolated kids for almost 2 years. They didn't go to school. They didn't interact with their peers. They didn't have any adult supervision. You combine that with 3 years of the vilification of law enforcement and a criminal justice system where these youth can see that nothing is going to happen to them when they commit crime. And especially as juveniles, they are going to be put in diversion programs, things like that. Remember, adults already don't face much punishment when they commit a variety of crimes. So youth know that they are also not going to face punishment. Again, we have got to go back to a victim-centric criminal justice system. And yes, even if you're a juvenile, you commit crimes, you need to be punished.
And let's go over to another big city, Chicago. John, Governor J.B. Pritzker launched more than 30 neighborhood peacekeepers ahead of Memorial Day weekend. The unit specifically designed to prevent violence and assist in de-escalation, conflict resolution, crisis support across the city. Why is Chicago bringing in extra support instead of bolstering their own police force?
Again, this is just more funneling to using taxpayer-funded money to go to not-for-profits where there's no proven metrics for success. We know nothing about these programs. These programs are shrouded in mystery, and it's all being funded with taxpayer funds. And we see it even in New York City with the violent intervention program. Everywhere we've implemented these programs, crime has risen. And again, by all means, if you look at it just from that standpoint, they're a failure, but our elected officials deem them a success without one metric of proving such. It's an absolute joke, and it's a further demonization of law enforcement, saying that we should move away from cops and go more towards community programs.
Yeah, well, Betsy, you know, the new mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, laid out his own plan for holiday weekend safety. Let's just take a listen to what he said.
I want the people of Chicago to enjoy the city of Chicago. This is still a beautiful place to live. It's a very comprehensive approach, right? Because the business community is invested in our plan. Violence prevention workers are invested in our plan. Of course, the Chicago Police Department has a role in securing the residents of the city of Chicago. And so, as I've stated before, all of the stakeholders that are ultimately connected to the well-being of the city of Chicago will have all participated.
So, Betsy, Mayor Johnson says he has the support of the business and law enforcement community members. Do you think he's going to bring change to Chicago policing compared to what the former mayor, Lori Lightfoot, did?
You know, ironically, I'm in Chicago right now, and you know, typically Memorial Day weekend is a very violent one. You know, candidate Johnson is now Mayor Johnson, so all that flowery language is not going to do the citizens of Chicago much good. He's got violence this weekend. He's got violence most of the time. He's also got a migrant crisis where his Chicago police officers are housing illegal immigrants in the district stations, and they are bringing in not just crime, but they're bringing in disease, bed bugs, lice. The cops are feeding them. The cops are clothing them. And Mayor Johnson is surrounding himself. And when you take a look at the people he has surrounded himself with so far, it's a bunch of social justice warriors who have no experience running government, running a business. So we're going to see that Chicago is probably going to get what they voted for. And I don't think it's going to be positive for public safety.
John, we only have less than a minute left, but I really want to get your opinion on this. How impactful will any of these plans and special units be?
Absolutely not impactful at all. You're going to see a further increase in crime. These plans look like satire. If you really looked at them, if you presented them to a child, they would laugh in your face. Crime will continue to rise.
All right. Well, Betsy Brantner Smith and John Macari, thank you both so much for joining us here today. We are going out for a quick break now, though, so we have more on Wake Up America when we return. Stay with us.